Hi everyone, welcome back to Dublin, Ohio. It's the third and final day of the high school edition of Top Gun 2013 at Dublin Jerome High School. We've got a full slate of action for you. Earlier this morning, I had a chance to talk to Frank Rojas. He's the director of the U.S. Army National Combine, which will feature the top 500 junior class members this January in San Antonio. It's the final day of the high school edition of Top Gun 2013 here at Dublin Jerome High School. We are with Frank Rojas. He's the longtime head coach of Braddock High School in Miami, Florida, but he is the director of the U.S. Army National Combine, which looks at the top juniors each year in San Antonio heading in to the U.S. Army All-American Bowl. Now, many of those commits for the All-American Bowl in 2014 are here, but Frank, you're looking at maybe from the class of 2015, 16, and beyond. A lot of kids are going to get invites, and that's a chance for them to catch their eye, maybe hope their All-American dreams come true one day.
Absolutely, and it really sets a foundation for the selection of the All-Americans by having, the best and biggest national combine in the world. My 24 years of experience of coaching high school football, there is no better combine.
Yeah, I was going to say, how cool is this? You're from Dade County. It's stocked with talent, but you get to see great talent all over the country, and these kids are going to be the future stars of the game.
Absolutely. Yeah. Last year, we had over 550 kids representing 43 states. So it really gives you a breakdown of the talent out there and how it's represented throughout the United States.
Well, tell me a little bit about your week here at Top Gun and what you're looking for throughout the 3 days and looking at some of these top kids when you're trying to nominate them for the Combine.
Well, first, we look at the football university coaches. We go to the professionals first because they spend the whole time with them. They coach the kids up on the field. Once I get the evaluation from them in terms of what they do on the field physically, the other aspect of it, and something that we try to teach these young men, is what are those young men doing in the classroom? Mm-hmm. What are they doing when they're eating lunch? How's their character on and off the field? So that's where my guys and other guys are evaluating kids, are seeing them when they're not on the field. Yeah. How are they when they're eating their lunch? How are they addressing their parents? How they're addressing other coaches? Are they shaking hands, making eye contact? Are they saying yes sir, no sir? So we still kind of look at those little things also that a lot of kids might think, I run the fastest 40, I'm the best kid out here, I'm going to get selected. It's not always that way. Yeah,
the total package is clearly important. The process of getting into Top Gun is tough enough. You get some guys who might be your free agents and want to be nominated. Their coach may send in video, and that's maybe the same case with the Combine too, or they could go through a regional camp and get the nod.
Absolutely. The football university camps really provides your first stepping stone, especially if you might have a young man who doesn't have film, who hasn't played a varsity game yet. He gets to a football university camp and he performs well, he'll get a selection right at the end of that camp. He'll be nominated and selected right there on the spot. Compared to a young man who doesn't attend a camp, now he's got to rely on his high school coach to make sure he sends in film, and then it's based on a committee evaluating that film, which then ends up being a lot of nominations, a lot of videos to review. So your best way would be obviously to be at a football university camp.
We'd be remiss to talk about some of the international kids too, because they come here to Top Gun. It's a growing game, and it's not quite like the NBA where you have your dearth of international players taking over, but there are more and more international guys playing in the NFL or in college, and here's a great showcase for them too as they come over. Cecil Martin's helped organize a great deal of that.
Yes, he's done a great job. We actually had a young man in the Fort Walton Beach Football University camp, FBU camp, that was from Okinawa, Japan. A running back, and actually at that camp he was actually the MVP of that camp, but it really shows you the international flavor that football's becoming. Everybody knows the best sport in America, and Football University provides that for the international flavor.
I've seen the Combine firsthand, and is it run quite like Top Gun, or when we're talking about drills, what do we expect to see there come January again, and what improvements do you look to make year in and year out?
Well, we first do our basic test, combine test, which is going to be the pro shuttle, the bench press, the 40-yard dash, the 100-meter dash, and the 400-meter dash. And then we're going to do our 100-meter dash, 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 Then we do very, very short individual period with the FBU coaches. And right after the short individual period, what really sets us apart from a lot of other combines is we've got a lot of one-on-one competitions.
Yeah.
So when those kids are selected to that point, they've been through an FBU camp. We know they're top-level kids. So real basic instruction, and we want to go a good 2 hours of individuals. Well, 2 hours of one-on-ones, which when you ask athletes, that's all they want. They want the one-on-ones. I could ask any young man out there.
Separate the men from the boys.
You ready for one-on-ones? And that's what I tell them from the very first day when I do our orientation. I said, just keep in mind as we're going through this whole process, every single day you're getting closer and closer to the one-on-ones. And the kids get excited, and the one-on-one competitions there is out of this world.
I'm always entertained watching the top juniors in the country as they try and make a name for themselves at the U.S. Army National Combine. Director Frank Rojas, who's also the head coach, Braddock High School in Miami, Florida. Thanks, Coach, and all the best to you going forward.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Well, those Army Combine kids have the dream of one day playing in the U.S. Army All-American Bowl. And the man that knows more about the game and selecting the talent that plays in it is Director of Player Development, John Schmid. One of the key figures that helps put together the U.S. Army All-American Bowl every year is John Schmid. He's the Director of Player Personnel for the bowl game, also has a big role in the National Combine coming up in January, the top 500 juniors across the land. We got the best of the best here at FBU Top Gun, and Schmid, always good to see you. Another great camp here on this week.
Fantastic. It was, I mean, every year we try to, get the best of the best and bring some of the All-Americans back, but I think this year, once again, we topped the talent level from the other, 4 or 5 years combined. So we're excited.
From the top of the flow chart, a lot of these kids attended FBU regional camps and were selected, but there are always some diamonds in the rough, too, that may submit a video, the free agents, if you will, that may come in and impress an eye or two.
Right, no question. One thing we always say, we're not, a lot of people think we get them from all the big schools or, the major dominant schools. We'll get a kid from anywhere. Last year in the game, we had a kid that I think he had 200 kids in his whole school, when they were a combined program. So we're looking for we're basically looking for the best 90 kids in the country, regardless of state, position, or size of the school. So in here, every year, we discover kids in the past that, one kid that comes to mind, he's a kid that just graduated from Notre Dame, but he played in the game with Zeke Mata. Yeah. I mean, he got drafted, but we really knew nothing about him, came to Top Gun, and, the rest was history. Yeah.
One of the interesting processes, this is like a recruiting trail from start to finish when you're putting together the game. So from the 2014 class upcoming in January, you've been researching them going back, what, a year, 2?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually now that we have the whole FBU pipeline and thing, we kind of have a we call basically our development squad, and it starts from the 6th graders that come to FBU, to our East Bay game, to our different combines we have, to the national combine. So the nice thing is a lot of these kids now that are coming in and we know are good players, we have a great relationship with, and want to continue with going to the FBU camps and playing, or going to the combine and then eventually playing in the Army All-American Bowl. So
well, that was no more evident than last year when we saw the first East Bay classes who played in the 7th and 8th grade games play in the U.S. Army All-American Bowl.
Right, and exactly. I mean, and then as far as this year, we have a couple more that'll come right off the bat. Is 2 guys that come to mind are Sony Michelle and then Todd Kelly Jr. from Tennessee. So, we have 2 guys right there. And then next year, we already have our eyes on guys that we know we're going to invite that are here this week in 2015 and 2016. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but now that we know the pipeline of better kids coming through FBU, now that it's cycled for, with the way we're doing it for now for 5 or 6 years, it makes it a little easier on us to identify the kids.
Well, this is only stage 1 of 2. We've got the top high school kids here wrapping up today on this 3rd day, and then the top youth players will be coming in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade into next week. What changes do you look to make yearly to Top Gun to maybe help identify a little bit more, or the process involved in finding that top line talent.
Yeah, well, I know one thing that's coming down the line, and I'm sure David Hill with our I-350s, kind of identifying guys regionally that are younger kids, and then getting them, come to camp, and then eventually come to Top Gun. So, and just two examples of guys we have here that were identified as younger. The colleges are Dylan Moses, who has already 14 offers. We have Lindell Stone, who's just going to step into his freshman year, and he's already got an offer from UCLA. So by doing the camps, and Lindell was a kid that was at Top Gun last year, so by identifying him younger with our staff and our scouts, it makes it easier on myself and Eric Richards when we do the selections for the game.
Great camp, great stuff as always. A gentleman and a scholar, John Schmidt, Director of Player Personnel, U.S. Army All-American Bowl. Thanks for doing this, Schmidt.
Thank you.
Of course, what's FBU Top Gun without the great players that make up the camp? Had a chance to speak with several of the members of the classes of 2014, 15, and 16. A veteran of the system of FBU, from the East Bay All-American Bowls to maybe the U.S. Army National Combine coming up in January. It's Trent Irwin, wide receiver from Newhall, California. Trent, how you doing? Thanks for doing this.
Doing real good. Having fun out here competing with a bunch of the top athletes in the nation, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're a veteran of the system. You've been to Top Gun. You've been to regional FBU camps in L.A. What is the difference from maybe going to a regional camp to now competing at Top Gun for the second time?
Well, they bring the top 10 of the athletes from that camp, so these guys are real athletic. A lot of these guys have offers to big colleges, so it's good to compete.
Was it great to see that competition getting into games in the East Bay All-American Bowls because you were able to play as opposed to going through drills here that you've went through in camp and put that into a performance position?
Yeah, that's always good. You always go through drills with your coaches so they, you can get the basics, but really putting it to work is what you got to do.
Well, you played in the 7th and 8th grade game. Here you are going into your junior season of high school. What do you feel has made you a better player going through these camps?
Well, these camps are always competitive, and you always got to compete. Whether you're just playing around with your teammates, you always got to compete, and you got to find ways to compete in life.
And you've got, of course, some high school teammates here with you at Top Gun.
Yeah, I got Brady White, my quarterback, also from her high school, and we're tearing it up.
What do you feel you can do to be a better player?
Well, you guys got to work. I got to work on my speed, got to work on my 40 time, got to work on going up for the ball. I've been trying to work on that this summer, and I think I'm getting better at it.
What do you think of Columbus?
Columbus is beautiful. This is actually interesting because it went from real hot to now it's like a little chilly.
Yeah, well, good stuff. Keep catching some passes out there and exhibiting your excellent skills. All the best to you going forward.
All right, thank you.
It's the final day of Top Gun 2013 with one of the top running back recruits in the country, Elijah Hood out of Charlotte, North Carolina. He's a 2014 U.S. Army All-American Bowl commit. His first Top Gun. Tell me what the experience has been like for you, Elijah.
I think it's been a great experience. I've enjoyed it. The people here are great. Coaching's great. The players are talented, and it's just a good overall experience. And it's a good preparation right before the season starts.
You've been to a lot of camps. I know that, focusing on your game. How do you feel you're better, though, after attending this one?
They focused a lot more on technique in this camp than at other camps, so definitely technique-wise, I feel a little bit more sound. They were really critical about ball security, and lowering your hips, and just making sure you get all that together. So it's a good reminder after all those fancy camps, and they just kind of bring you back down to getting your technique together.
I'm sure you're making friends, too, because you're going to be playing against some of these guys in the U.S. Army All-American Bowl. What's it been like going against some of the top competition in the country?
It's great. I love doing it. I mean, I'm a competitor by nature, so just going through that, it's all fun. I love to compete, so those guys coming out and I get to face them is a great experience, and it's a great opportunity, so I take advantage of it.
What do you feel you still want to work on going into your freshman season and into your senior season of high school?
I can always get better. I can always get faster, stronger, quicker, so I just think I can get better at everything. That's my mentality. I'm never good enough. So
the question is, why Notre Dame?
It's just the people there. I fit in there the best, so.
Well, all the best to you going forward. Thanks for doing this.
All right, thank you.
That's Elijah Hood. Keep an eye out for him at the U.S. Army All-American Bowl in 2014. He's been tearing it up here at Top Gun 2013 in Dublin. Back with more after this. Not Fort Knox, but maybe a name to know soon. Demetrius Knox out of Fort Worth, Texas, a commit to the 2014 U.S. Army All-American Bowl. Over 20 BCS offers here at his first Top Gun. How you think the week's gone for you?
It's going pretty good. You know, it's some pretty good competition out here, but, you know, I'm laid back. I'm just having fun out here.
Happy with your play? Feel like you're winning some battles?
Oh, yeah. Me and 171 over there, you know, we've just been out here dominating and clowning around, but, you know, it's pretty cool.
Well, 171, people in their programs are going to have to look that up. Tell me a little bit about how you feel you're a better player, maybe in just these 3 days alone, or something you learned that you hadn't known before.
Well, I mean, you know, people ask me, you know, because I'm already in the Army All-American game and I have all these offers, man, why are you at this camp? Why are you at this camp? As a lineman, as a player, you can never stop learning. I mean, the technique we've learned here, I've learned some stuff that I've never even seen before, and I mean, I just love that. You can't stop learning as a player.
Well, here at Top Gun, this is kind of the next step, the hope to maybe get to a U.S. Army All-American Bowl. Here's your chance coming up in January. What are you most looking forward to? You're already going to maybe see some guys that you're going to play against out here on these fields this weekend.
If anything, I'd say just meeting new people. Actually, I mean, I already been against almost all of the guys that's going to be in the Army game, and, you know, I know what they could do, but the best thing about all these camps and all this stuff is meeting new people, whether it be players, coaches, whatever, and just, you know, getting connections along the way.
Such an affable young man. How have you been able to stay humble? I mean, you've got a lot of the top schools in the country that have taken a lot of interest in you.
Well, I mean, at my school and the family I come from, you better stay humble. But, yeah.
Well, all the best. I'm sure you're making some great friends. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with us, Demetrius. Best of luck. We'll see you in San Antonio in January.
All right. Yes, sir.
Demetrius Knox. Keep an eye out for him. Great testament to what it takes to get here to Top Gun is going through the regional camps at FBU. James Morgan's a signal caller going into his junior season up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. He's been through the drill before.
Yes,
How's
sir.
Top Gun been for you?
Yep, it's been fun. There's a lot of great kids here. It's been pretty hot, so that's been a good challenge, you know, and got to overcome that. But yeah, the talents is just great. It's great to compare yourself about where you're at. You know, really got to come back with those skills you learned at the regional camps and then apply them to Top Gun. So a lot more one-on-ones and 7-on-7, which is competing, and I love that. That's great. And yeah, I really like the camp. It's been really good this year. Really fun.
It's been the era of the hybrid quarterback, maybe the last 5 to 10 years. Are you a drop back guy? How would you describe your style?
Yeah, I'm more of a pro-style quarterback, so I'm more of a drop back. I've been working on speed, and I've been working on that. But yeah, traditionally, I like to just go back and sling it.
You told me you went to 4 FBU camps before here coming to Top Gun. How are you better as a player from when you attended your first camp to where you are now?
Well, just a lot of technique stuff. I mean, the coaching is great, and every time they come back, I get a new thing I got to work on. It's been my second year, and I have gone to a total of 4, and it's just every time there's something new, you know, and something that you just got to improve upon and work towards for the next camp. So,
how do you think you're doing this week?
Pretty good. I think that's been fun, you know, and it's been a great time. So,
yeah. Well, weather permitting, right?
Yes. Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
What are your goals here coming up for your junior season?
For my junior season, my goal is for to win state, for our team to win state. I want to really help the team, and that's my biggest thing, is just to work on my leadership and be really competitive. So just help us win.
Leadership, you learn a lot of good off-the-field qualities here too,
For
I
sure.
would think.
Yep, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's great. Just watching the coaches. The coaches are great role models, and just how the other players act too. You know, just to see from around the country, because there's a lot of states represented here, and it's cool to see. You know, it really is.
Gentleman with a strong arm, James Morgan, going into his junior season in Green Bay, Wisconsin. FBU veteran. Thanks for doing this, buddy.
Thank you. Yep, thanks.
We stay with our trend of talking to some of the nicest people in Idaho, maybe some of the best football players you'll see too. This is Tristan Hodge, who's a veteran of the FBU system. He's been an East Bay All-American. Now he's at Top Gun. How's the week going for you?
It's going really well. You know, it's always good to come down here, make some good friends, and also get some of the best coaching in the world down here. So I like FBU, and I'd recommend it to everyone.
Now the name Hodge, of course, that rings true with your uncle, but you've got a great support staff too, and your parents had a chance to talk with them the other day. Outstanding people, and I'm sure a big support and a big reason why you've had your success.
They are my #1 supporters, and that's how it'll always be. And I mean, it doesn't matter how hard they're on me. I always will understand that they're trying to help me learn, become a better person, not just a better football player, and I always follow their lead. And my parents are the biggest inspiration to me.
And despite being maybe 2,000 miles away, you've got a cousin in Bo who's a quarterback, and he was at the camp here this weekend. What have you guys been able to talk about? Has it been great having a family member in camp with you?
Oh yeah, you know, we were just out at dinner last night talking about how we like the camp, and you know, just saying everything. You know, it's good to have family out here. We were actually talking about what if we ended up playing high school ball together, and it's like for a center or a quarterback, and I'm like, family is a good thing to have, you know, in the football life, but I enjoy it.
Well, coming through the experience of maybe being a youth All-American and now playing here at the Top Gun camp, and the future ahead is bright. What have you learned, though, from where you started with FBU to where you are now that's prepared you for the next level?
You know, I always have to give credit to coaches. They've helped me along the way. I mean, Coach Diaz-Infante and of course Coach McNally. I mean, they've helped me cross the way from starting in that 7th grade. I mean, I seen some film and I was just a little guy, and I just see how much I've improved, and I owe it to FBU for helping me get here today to where I am.
Well, you're a big Notre Dame recruit. What do you still, among other schools, but what do you want to really improve on, though, going into your final years?
You know, I always got to improve on, people say the battle, you know, just get a little more anger with me and just battle it out with the D-line, and just get better with every technique I can and just polish it up, and I just plan on dominating my next 2 years.
Are you dominating the one-on-ones? There's some pretty big guys out here.
There's some good guys out here too. I mean, they got some All-Americans, future All-Americans out here, and they're good challenges for me, and I love a challenge out here.
Probably making some good friends too, I would think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you know, line we always gel real quick. That's the thing about being a lineman. Doesn't matter even if you're a D lineman, you'll become a friend pretty quick.
Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Tristan Hodge, a great family. Thanks for taking a little bit of time to do this. Best of luck to you going forward, buddy.
Thank you.
The action continues here on day 3 of Top Gun 2013. Nico Fertitta, defensive back, Bishop Gorman High School, Las Vegas, Nevada. He's been through the FBU system from his regional camps in Vegas, also an East Bay Youth All-American, playing in the 8th grade and with Team USA over the last couple of years. Now, you didn't feature in those games, Nico. Injuries abound, but what's the experience meant to you coming through the process full circle, now being a Top Gun guy?
It's a great experience just being around the top guys in the nation and seeing where you are as an athlete, and it's very humbling seeing some guys at the next level, to know that you always got to be working to be the best, and then coming out here, all this competition is great, getting a great experience to get better.
Well, you've had a day and a half now of action. How would you assess how you're doing?
I think I'm doing pretty well. Definitely some good guys out here, and I think that I'm locking down some of the top guys in the nation, so definitely getting me better for the season.
Well, you're learning a lot. When you go back home, what do you want to focus on maybe going into your high school season?
High school season, just playing, staying healthy, making some big plays, and having a breakout season.
Playing in the East Bay Youth All-American Bowls. Now, being named to that as such a young kid, that's a lot of pressure maybe early on. What has that done, though, to help maybe curtail your enthusiasm as you come into a camp like this with the top players in the nation? Has it prepared you a little bit better?
Absolutely. It gives me a lot more confidence knowing that the people that selected me for all this, they believe in me that I can compete with anybody at the top level and just go out here and do my best.
What's been your favorite drill during the week?
I wouldn't say drill, but one-on-ones for sure. One-on-ones is a good time. Get to lock down some guys.
Well, that's a chance to make a name for yourself, really, and stand out individually, the one-on-one part.
Exactly.
What do you think about your game has changed the most since you started the FBU process?
My speed and my breaks, for sure. I used to be kind of slow coming out of my breaks, but now, as soon as I see it, I'm gone. I'm going for the pick.
Best of luck to you going forward, pal.
Thank you.
Nico Fertitta, Bishop Gorman High School, Las Vegas, Nevada. Stay with us. We'll talk to more athletes here, FBU Top Gun 2013. Well, it wasn't all sunshine through the 3 days here at Dublin Jerome. Weather did play a factor on this 3rd day. But while we had the break, we had a chance to talk to Randy Taylor, who's with NCSA, a big part of the recruiting process for the players and their families.
Tyler Olson here at FBU Top Gun down on the 2016 fields, joined by NCSA's Randy Taylor. Randy has been with the company for 5 years, a former college recruiter at Illinois, UCLA, and Minnesota. Randy, talk about what you've seen so far this weekend at one of the best showcase events in the country.
First of all, we're talking about down the field of 2016 athletes, which is amazing. There's actually the young guy from 2017 that's been offered by Alabama. The Moses kid is here. Unbelievable talent here on all 3 fields, 16, 15, and 14. The size, the speed, the athleticism. I know these kids are all working their way. They worked their way into Top Gun. Now they're working their way into the U.S. Army All-American game and the Combine, and they're the best in the country. The great coaching that comes at FBU, I tell families, they ask me, if you want to get great coaching, go to FBU. And so our role at NCSA is the recruiting side of it, where we work with the college coaches directly to help them find these kids to recruit them. And that's as simple as it is. These kids all can play college football at some level, and it's our job to work with those college coaches and these athletes and their families and FBU to help them find the right fit. It is a great partnership, and the people who benefit are the kids and their families.
And I think you said it best. It is about the kids. And if you had one piece of advice to give to folks at home without giving away the farm, if you will, what's the one biggest thing you could give to somebody out there who's looking to get recruited as a kid, also as a parent as well? What's the one big message you'd like to convey?
Well, the thing about it is they have to have a plan. It's not something that just happens these days. You got to get your information online. You have to have great videotape. You have to have great third parties involved with you like FBU and NCSA. This is not the old days where somehow some person is going to find you. You have got to do a lot of work because there's a ton of football players out there. There's like 1.5 million football players that you're competing against for scholarships. And so it's just so important that you have a plan, you understand how the recruiting process works, and then you make it work for you. Don't let recruiting happen to you. That's the thing that so many people let happen. And you know, make it easy for college coaches to recruit you. Like I said, get online, have great video, get evaluated, have a great third party to assist you in this process, and you got a chance.
How can people get involved with NCSA? Website? How do they get involved?
You can go to ncsasports.org. Easy to reach us. You could go there. There's our phone numbers there. It's if I remember it right, it's 566. I don't know what it is. 866-577-6272 is the number. Or go to ncsasports.org. You can go to my blog at Ask Coach Taylor. There's a lot of ways to get to NCSA. We're at these combines and have an opportunity to educate you. But check us out. We have a great website and a great database. We have the most powerful prospect database in America, and that's because college coaches can see thousands of football players in one spot with a click of a button.
Coach Randy Taylor from NCSA here at FBU Top Gun 2013. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
You got it, babe. Nice.
Well, it's been a fantastic 3 days, all those short but very sweet here at Dublin Jerome for 2013 FBU Top Gun. We leave you now with a look at the closing ceremonies of this high school class, but we'll be back next week as the top U stars from the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade level will join us here in Northwest Columbus. Until then, I'm Neil Sika. So long.
Never quit. You can work hard now, suffer now, and live the life of a champion for the rest of your life. Or you can quit and live to be a failure for the rest of your life. Second, courage under fire. Courage for your convictions. And courage to take the road least traveled. I promise you, at some moment, at some point in your time, someone is going to challenge you either to make the right decision or the wrong decision. And your conscience is going to tell you to make the right decision because it's either the voice of your parents or your coach. And I leave you with this. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is rather your judgment that something else is more important. Last is leadership. 99% of all accomplishment you can attribute to leadership. But there's several challenges to leadership. Be strong, but not rude. Be kind, but not weak. Be thoughtful, but not lazy. Be proud, but not arrogant.